It's no secret that Band of Brothers is one of the best miniseries ever made, and over the years it's continued to grow its fan base and continuously introduce new generations to the men of Easy Company and highlight the struggles that they and all soldiers faced during war. It continued the tradition of prestige TV that HBO was being known for and helped set a new standard for shows to come. And with the 22nd anniversary just a couple of weeks away, I thought now would be a great time to talk about this legendary show. So, what makes Band of Brothers so great? Let's find out. So Band of Brothers was adapted from the book by Stephen Ambrose of the same name and chronicles the story of Easy Company, 2nd Battalion, 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment of the 101st Airborne Division. And in the first episode, we're introduced to Easy Company during their training at Camp Toccoa, Georgia. And while we're there, we're introduced to a myriad of characters. As the show progresses, we follow Easy Company throughout the Second World War. And by the time the series is done, you will have witnessed one of the best produced, well-written, and superbly acted pieces of media you will ever see. At the time of its production, Band of Brothers was the most expensive miniseries ever made, with a budget of $125 million. And it really shows. You can see where every dollar of that money went. The show really goes all out in making sure they've done all they could to make this show the masterpiece that it is. But one of the most impressive shooting locations was the Forest of Bastogne, which is used in episodes 6 and 7, which is actually a soundstage. Built in a massive airplane hangar and covered with fake snow and artificial trees, the production crew, without the use of hardly any CGI, was able to successfully recreate the exploding, wintry forest conditions that Easy Company experienced during the Battle of the Bulge. And when you watch those episodes, you honestly can't really tell that they're not in an actual forest, being really cold. This show is literally made up of amazing character actors, like Neil McDonough, Scott Grimes, Rick Gomez, and Ross McCall, just to name a few. All of them are actors who have been in the business for a long time and have made a career of being that guy in movies. But the cast is also made up of actors who have gone on to have big-time careers as leading men, like Damian Lewis or Ron Livingston, and even Simon Pegg is in here. I won't tell you who he is, but you'll see him when you see him. And there are also a lot of cameos that are fun to notice the first time. Again, I don't want to ruin anything for people who haven't seen it, but trust me, when you see them, they're a big surprise. But what really sells this show is the way the actors interact with one another. When you watch the show, it really does feel like that they have been together for a long time, and that's because they were. The entire shooting production of Band of Brothers took 8 months to complete, and it all started with a military-style boot camp for all of the main cast. And this camp was run by none other than the legendary Captain Dale Dye. For those who don't know, Captain Dye is a Vietnam veteran Marine who has served as a technical advisor for just about every major war movie or a movie featuring a battle scene since Platoon in 1986. This training lasted 10 days and was so in-depth that the actors could only refer to each other by their character names instead of their real name. Actor Ron Livingston actually made a video diary of this boot camp for HBO.
My name's Ron Livingston. I shot a video diary.
And you can find those videos on YouTube. I'll leave a link in the description below if you'd like to see them. But possibly the best thing about the show is its connection to the actual veterans of Easy Company and their involvement in the show. At the beginning of each episode, there's a prologue that features short vignettes with Easy Company vets as they talk about the events that we're going to see in the coming episode. This detail is brilliant because it really helps drive home the notion that these were real men, and by the time the series ends, you really feel like you've gotten to know them as people. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and say the show is 100% accurate. As with any historical piece, there are adjustments made, and as Tom Hanks famously said to Dick Winters,
We'd be hailed as geniuses if we could just get 12% of this right. But I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to aim for 17.
Honestly, I can't say enough good things about this show. And all these 22 years later, it still remains just as thrilling, inspiring, and emotionally impactful as it was when it first came out. If you haven't seen it, I can't recommend it enough. And if you have seen it, see it again. It's on HBO Max if you'd like to give it a shot. Well, that's it for this one, guys. Have you seen Band of Brothers? What do you think about it? In fact, what's your favorite episode? As always, thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.